Three buff guys
Whoa.
now march towards me.
Whoa.
The most humiliating thing I've ever experienced.
The man opens my passport, and then he goes through it, and then he consults his colleague, and I'm thinking, uh-oh.
Here we are, we three queens. My name is Achieng.
I'm Musonda.
I'm Micheline.
And we are super excited to be chatting with you all today. So listen, guys, I want to hear about your travel stories. What's the one story that you just have to tell about your travel adventures or escapades?
I traveled to Germany. I was invited to go and moderate a high-level session at a UN session, and very excited. Went through immigration, arrived, guten Tag, got through security and whatever, immigration, and then finished all my work. Then on my way back, I was flying through Switzerland, and I come through Zurich airport. And I get into Zurich airport and I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, I'm going home. I'm going to go see my kids. I'm just kind of like, I'm going to hang out with my girls. I'm thinking about you ladies. I'm cooking things in my mind. And then it's me to go to the immigration officer, right? I get to the immigration point. The man opens my passport. And then he goes, can we have your national passport? I was like, sure, Zambian. I present. Then he goes through it. And then he consults his colleague. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. He goes through it, and then he says, Madam, how did you get into Europe? I said, by plane.
What?
Yeah.
He asked that.
How did you get into Europe? By aeroplane.
I mean, what kind of a question is that anyway?
Wait for it.
Oh, exactly. No way.
No, the reason he was asking that, because I had no entry stamp.
Why did you have an entry stamp?
Okay, now,
like the rest of the world.
Exactly.
I'm like...
Now even
I was like and so because of course when I said I came by airplane, he thought I was being sarcastic, and then he looked at me, Madam, excusez-moi, we want to know how you got into Europe because you have no entry stamp. I said, oh, I have no entry stamp, and I said, can I have it? And I look at it, and truly there is no entry stamp, right? I mean, terrible. Anyhow, so now I'm thinking, Musonda, Zambian passport, think fast. You don't want to be held here for a few hours. I said, well, monsieur, I don't know.
Look at that dramatic little face. Oh, she's putting on her cute. This has this cute little face she puts on.
I know, right?
You need to know that you'll be in trouble. Yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah.
So I roll my eyes. I said, monsieur, I don't know. Je sais pas. But I think the man in Germany must have been confused because you can see the picture in my passport. I'm bald. But now, I have hair. And I'm a black woman. We change hair every week. Oh my God.
Don't tell me they bought that.
They just burst out laughing.
You can't be serious. You were so lucky.
Oh, honey, straight face. I'm like poker face. I'm like, and then it's like, oh.
You're joking.
I was like, merci.
Oh my goodness. Do you know how you lucked out? Because just Europe travel, we know how we're always being watched carefully. How could you have passed a border and not have had a stamp?
Yeah.
Do you know? Musonda, you're hilarious.
And then with an African passport, I mean, you
Zambian, darling, green.
You know?
You are funny.
I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. I cannot be held in a prison.
Oh, you're
I know, right?
I know.
What did you tell the children?
You would have been.
What were you doing in a prison?
What would I tell you?
But also, I guess you didn't look like somebody who would have come into the country legally.
That's the other thing.
That's it.
But I think you were lucky because you had, your UN passport.
But not even the UN passport.
Outfit was
I
probably
have learned to look hot.
Yes.
When I'm going through
That's what I
immigration.
was thinking.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about that?
I'm sure that red lipstick was glowing. Then she has Musonda, the way I've
And the
seen her. The nails.
The rocking the
diamonds.
jewelry.
And then all kinds of nice jewelry.
Yeah.
Those guys know how to spot that stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You've
But
got to
you're
look
crazy.
the part.
You're crazy.
No.
Monsieur, I was blonde one day. Bald one day. And now I have the looks. Classic. I love that you pulled off.
Nice one.
Girlfriend, that's a nice one.
I would never have pulled off what you did. Have you pulled off one of those wild and wonderful escapades?
Oh my God. Living in Brazil, I traveled to all these different countries,
Yeah,
right? Nicaragua, Colombia, Peru, and Bolivia was one of them. And that LP, that diplomatic
Of
passport,
course.
Yeah.
it helps.
Kind of does help us through, right?
It does. right?
So what is La Paz?
La Paz, the capital of Bolivia, darling. The
Geography was never one of my subjects. Go
don't
on,
worry
man.
about it, don't worry. So there I am, thinking, okay, I'm pretty comfortable in La Paz. By then I had traveled to all the other countries and they were treating me normally. Entering was okay, no issues. Now exiting, and I was going to Ecuador for another project. So immigration stamps me out, no problem, right? Now I'm ready to board and there's another security check. So I'm like, okay, some of these countries have another security check.
Yeah.
I go in, and it's almost like they picked me from the line to
Wow.
come first.
Were you sticking out
Right?
like a sore thumb in
Well,
the
I
queue?
mean, I'm the only black person,
Okay.
but you just pick me like
And a
that.
tall one for that
Tall,
fact.
just
Black,
imagine, I
beautiful.
just imagine, and I have
Yeah.
to say, I know I am very, very tall in any context, but Bolivians are tiny. Yeah?
So you were
you just
really
imagine. So there was short Bolivians and a lot of foreigners, so
Yeah.
blonde foreigners, and then me.
was you.
So they're like, Señora. So I'm like, si, señor. Venga, which is just come. No politeness, nothing. And the guys are like, okay, we're going to do a security check. And they start opening my little suitcase. They open my handbag. And then they get to the pouch. You know the little toilet bag?
Of course.
You know how we are, little
Yeah.
lip
Yeah.
gloss, a little. So they open it. And I'm thinking, no, nobody does this. Normally they do a quick check.
Yeah.
And they start taking out, I don't know, MAC lipstick here, powder there, and then tampons, right? They open, I had this little inner pouch that had my tampons, and they actually just
Whoa.
tumbled
No,
to the floor.
first of all, why are they in your business, in your tampons?
Girl, I
Let's start
cannot
there.
even tell you.
No,
I can't.
Did they go to the floor?
Analyzing each thing. That you're still the tampons tumbled, rolled into like, you know, people here standing in line, security here. Yes.
No.
And I'm just trying to keep it cool and maintain all kinds of composure, and I'm like pissed as hell.
Yeah.
And then the guys, it's like it's a little bullet or something. He takes one out, and he's like, Señora, ¿qué es eso? What is this? And I'm thinking, I'm steaming. I'm thinking,
By
should
the
I
time he's
pull
touching the tampons.
my diplomat card here? Like, you actually can't treat me like this. What should I do? And I just tell him sternly, son tampones. Yo tengo mi periodo mensual. These are tampons. I have my monthly period. The
Good
guy
for
just-
you.
You could see him, he just shut it down.
Froze.
Yeah. And then, of course, I still had to go picking this tampon, this one.
Oh my
All the people are looking at me, put it back in my pouch, and I looked back at him annoyingly and walked off as haughtily as I could. Can you imagine? You feel like your dignity, everything is taken away.
Such an invasion, isn't
After
it?
that, when I arrived in Ecuador, I remember telling a colleague that story.
Yeah.
Was it Ecuador or Honduras? One of the two.
Yeah.
And she said to me, but Mish, let me just tell you something. We don't know tampons, not everybody. So people know pads, but they actually don't know tampons.
Wow.
So I told her, that's understandable. I can actually accept that. And now that you've told me the story.
Yeah.
But still, it was picking me out of the line, talking to me rudely,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And just being really horrible about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was
a
that
combination.
racial profiling.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Europe, Latin America. Let me reel it closer to home. So my story is in Mauritius.
Okay.
My travel adventure.
Beautiful.
I was actually just relocating from Paris to Mauritius.
Yes.
Looking forward to tropical life, island life, you know, living alongside the ocean, which I was
The
really
breeze from the
good,
sea.
you know, sipping champers or wine.
Oh my
Anyway,
God.
but I get ahead of myself. So I'm still at immigration.
Okay.
We just hop off the plane. I was probably the second person off the aircraft. So I get to immigration, you know, usual stuff. You know, I had a letter from my new employer and everything. I had my passport, blah, blah, blah. So I give them all of that. You know, yellow fever, all those things.
Kenyan
they ask
passport,
for.
right?
Kenyan passport, my love. And then they say, what about your ticket? Your return ticket? So I say, well, you know, I'm coming to work here. I've got the letters from my employer to be and all of this. And I show them all of that.
It's like they want you to go before you've even seen the
I
island,
know.
the tropical lush, God knows what they're saying. When are you leaving, basically?
It's like, when are you leaving? Because the guy tells me, if you don't have your ticket, I need to speak to my supervisor. I said, well, look, I'm leaving
Wow.
on such and such a date. So, you know, don't worry about that. Because I was going to go back and now pack up my apartment
Right.
in Paris. And the guy says, let me call my supervisor. So I figure, okay, he probably just needs authorization to clear me because I've got a letter from an employer who's, you know, a company that's locally registered and, you know, fully operational, employing about 80 people, you know. And then the supervisor comes. But he doesn't come as one guy. 3 buff guys.
Whoa.
now march towards me.
Whoa.
Guys, I'm 5'2". I think that time I weighed about 58 kilos. They rock up like I'm a thug, like I'm a criminal.
Gosh.
Wow, I'm just even imagining the
my
look on the
gosh.
passengers' faces.
Everybody was looking at me as if I've just been caught
Yes.
doing something illegal. It was the most, first of all, the most humiliating thing I've ever experienced. I'm 5'2". Listen, you don't even need 3 of you all looking buff.
Exactly.
One of you is
Wow.
enough if you're going to haul me back onto an aircraft, if it comes to that. Do you know what I mean? So they start asking me all these questions, and by this time,
so
everybody's
sorry.
staring at me because now everybody else has come off the plane. Because, business class, they let you out first.
Of course.
And now everybody else has trooped out of this huge aircraft. And they're all looking at me. And you can see the kind of, that
Wondering,
curiosity.
yeah.
Like, was she caught? What has she done? What was she
Yes.
carrying?
I think she's looking like a drugs trafficker.
Blonde
hair.
I know, right? I guess that, do they
The
look like me?
pretty look.
I was so
Yeah,
embarrassed.
The walls of travel.
And so they pull me aside and take me now to the far end of that hall where guys, do the immigration thing.
I can
And
imagine.
at some point I told the guy, if it's a problem, I can buy myself another ticket and go back to Paris. It's not a problem. I have an apartment there.
Good
because
for you.
I know.
Good for you.
Why are you treating me like a thug, like a criminal?
Oh my goodness.
Even if
Wow.
I'm not even a
be
tourist,
known.
but I could be.
Exactly. You can go back to Paris and call this whole thing off.
I was ready to do it.
Oh
I
my
was
God.
so upset. So long story short, eventually I get a lady from the office who then talks to them in Creole. Oh, well, I guess he responded in Creole.
Okay.
And she's basically explaining, oh no, I'll send you the copy of the ticket, the return ticket, blah, blah, blah. So she organizes that. And meanwhile, I'm told, just sit there. He gets the ticket and he now tells the lady at the other lady at the counter to verify. He says it in Creole, but of course I speak French, so I understood.
Of course.
He says verify that it's not a fake ticket.
Whoa.
Whoa. Non, c'est pas possible.
Wallahi.
I wish not.
Let me
What?
tell you, you're on your continent.
I'd be
And you're
hyperventilating.
I know. And I had to take a deep breath because I realized if I get worked up, I'll actually leave. And then all my wonderful plans to be drinking wine as I overlook the ocean from my house by the beach will go down the loo. So really, really, I took a deep breath for the greater good. They verified the ticket.
So upset.
I
Just
know,
thinking
I know.
that this is Africa.
It was awful.
Imagine
Picking
that.
on each other.
I know.
That's what we do.
I know. It's
When,
really
when,
sad.
but then, one of the questions I want to know is when does this ease of traveling across Africa ever happen? Because why would you have an experience like that as a Kenyan within almost the same sub-region?
It's ridiculous.
3 hours away,
It's ridiculous.
But I've done Lagos many, many times, and they've always been really wonderful. Really, really wonderful.
Yeah, I guess the
I have
experience
only
is
good
patchy
experiences.
in
Yeah.
Africa,
Yeah.
But by and large,
Yeah.
I think it's some of these non-black places, and I think we should talk about this sometime.
Yeah.
Non-fully black places like we know Mauritius.
And the
is.
issue of colorism on the
Perhaps
continent
Kenya,
as well.
yes, yeah.
You know, I
It's a
think
real
that's
conversation.
where this pops up and rears its ugly head.
Absolutely.
Right? Mistreating each other. Because Mauritians have their own funny, system as well among the, the more colored ones, the Indian ones. Also, I've heard.
It's
So
that.
the black African within that,
Yeah.
lowest on the totem pole.
I could regale you with stories of my experiences in Mauritius as a
my
black person
goodness.
in Mauritius.
Wow.
We
Oh my
need to talk
God.
about colorism because it's such a real conversation to have
Yes.
in our own country as well as on our continent as well as just around the world.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
let's
Yeah.
definitely do that.
So that was my travel drama.
Oh my God.
Oh,
can you just-
Paule.
all this drama, right? Drama in
Yeah.
Africa, drama in Europe, drama
In Latin America.
I
It's
know.
like, woo, but we don't stop traveling, do we?
We still travel, girlfriends.
Oh
we
my
still
God.
travel.
We still love
the
our travel.
world is there to be explored.
And
Absolutely.
You learn a lot,
Yeah.
and
Big
you
blue
always
world.
take a bit of each place with you,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, but thanks for sharing that.
That's probably a wrap on our little travel adventure series.
Yes.
Yes.
We'll
How
share more in
exciting.
another one.
Yes, we
Yes.
shall.
Yes.
We shall. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this little travel series. Drop us a line or, write to us. Let us know what your little travel adventure was. Is that where you met love? Is that where you had the adventure of a lifetime? I don't know. Tell us about what you've experienced along your travels. So with that, here we are, we three queens.